Yeah, Tony, now Scott Peterson has a new lawyer, someone from his original defense team. But this time around, he says he wants the chance to prove that his client is innocent. And this time with plans to bring new witnesses and evidence to court if his team gets a new trial.
He is stone cold innocent.
Pat Harris after court explaining why he once again is taking Scott Peterson's case years later.
It's been a huge disappointment to myself, to obviously the family, and certainly to Scott himself that we weren't able to prove that the first time. I want to make sure we prove it the second time.
Wearing a blue shirt and face mask, Scott Peterson appearing in court for the first time in nearly a decade, this time in front of a judge virtually. Prosecutors say they'll retry the death penalty, but that decision could be moot as the state Supreme Court rules the lower court must consider whether Peterson's murder convictions should be tossed out entirely over possible jury misconduct. Pat Harris is hoping a San Mateo judge rules in their favor.
We're obviously ready to retry the case.
At issue, juror Rochelle Neese, nicknamed Strawberry Shortcake, seen here after the 2004 trial. Records show she didn't tell the court she was the victim of a crime when she was pregnant. Lara Yeretsian was part of Scott Peterson's original defense team. She believes Rochelle Neese intentionally withheld information.
Jurors need to understand that cases need to be decided on the evidence and not based on hatred and visceral reaction.
The examination of the conviction and whether it'll be tossed out could take up to 2 months. But jurors who served with Rochelle, like Mike Bellasameri, seen here, have told us they stand by their decision. Mike says a new trial will just bring more hurt to both families. In court, we are told Scott's sister-in-law, Janie Peterson, said justice for Lacey and Connor is the most important thing. Lacey's family was not in court today and could not be reached for comment. Now, we just received a statement from Rochelle Neese's lawyer who says Rochelle Neese didn't willfully withhold information, and it goes on to say her decision to vote guilty was based on evidence at trial and with no desire to punish Scott Peterson.
All right, Marissa, such a well-known case, but let's do a reset for you. The Scott Peterson case goes back nearly 20 years. Lacey Peterson disappeared Christmas Eve 2002. A few months later, in April, Peterson was arrested for her murder the same day her body was discovered.
The trial began a year later in March of 2004, and it lasted 8 months. Peterson was found guilty that November, then sentenced to death in 2005. 15 years later, this past August, the state Supreme Court overturned his death sentence. So how common is it to retry just the penalty phase? And why retry just the penalty phase and not the whole trial? Well, our investigative reporter Julie Watts is getting answers on CBS 13 News at 6 tonight.
We will have continuing coverage on our website as well, CBS 13.